Science has pretty good answers for some really interesting things in life, like what Saturn's rings are made of, or how we use each side of our brains, and the proper way to pack a suitcase. But we don't have all the answers. There are many weird phenomena we still can't explain, leaving even the brightest minds and most educated humans scratching their heads. Fact Feed presents Weird Phenomena Science Can't Explain. Yawning. Yawning is something you likely do every day, but, oddly enough, scientists still aren't sure why. Recently, the scientific community has moved toward the idea that yawning is a thermoregulatory behavior that cools down the brain, but its true biological function is unclear. What's more, scientists aren't entirely sure why it's contagious among social animals, such as humans. A 2005 study published in Cognitive Brain Research found that the networks in your brain responsible for empathy and social skills are activated when you see someone yawn. Researchers have also observed that chimpanzees can catch yawns from humans. Copying the facial expressions of others helps us to adopt and understand their current state, said Matthew Campbell of Yerkes National Primate Research Center at Emory University. This is why, according to one study, psychopaths aren't as susceptible to contagious yawning. Dark matter. Matter is made of protons, neutrons, and electrons, but dark matter's makeup is still a mystery. One theory is that dark matter is made of particles that we simply haven't detected or identified. A 2016 study suggested that dark matter might be made of primordial black holes. Dark matter doesn't reflect or emit light, but at high concentrations, it can bend light, which is how scientists know that it exists. Assuming our knowledge of the universe and physics is correct, there is more dark matter than matter in existence. Dark matter, in fact, seems to be required for gravitational pulls, to be strong enough to create planets and galaxies. Cats purring. For a long time, cats' purring mechanisms were an unsolved mystery. According to the BBC, it's now widely thought that the muscles around the feline larynx constrict, creating a vibration that makes the classic purring sound. But the reason cats purr at all is still a debate. One hypothesis is that purring promotes bone growth because the vibration frequency leads bones to harden in response to the pressure. Purrs at a frequency of 25 to 100 Hz correspond with established healing frequencies in therapeutic medicine for humans, Gary Weitzman, a veterinarian and the CEO of the San Diego Humane Society, told the BBC. Mushroom. The Corioactis geister is the only mushroom species in the Corioactis genus, and it's found only in Texas and Japan. The two locations are on the same latitude, but mycologists have not been able to figure out why these mushrooms grow only in these two spots. A 2004 study of the mushroom's DNA, published by Harvard University Herbaria, suggested that the populations were separated into two lineages about 19 million years ago. In Texas, the mushroom is known as the devil's cigar, since it looks like a cigar before it opens into a star shape. Saturn's storm. At Saturn's North Pole, there's a weather system the size of two Earths in the curious shape of a hexagon. The storm was photographed and observed for years by NASA's Cassini spacecraft, but it remains mysterious. The only other naturally occurring hexagonal shape scientists have found is in crystals, so they have no idea how Saturn's form came to look like this. To make matters more confusing, the storm appears to have changed color, shifting from turquoise to yellow over just a few years. Humpback whales. Humpback whales are ordinarily solitary, but have begun to feed in packs of 20 to 200 off the coast of South Africa over the past several years, according to a 2017 study from the University of Pretoria. Marine scientists aren't sure why the nature of this ancient creature has changed, but there's also been a rise in the population of humpbacks, so that may partially explain this change. It's quite unusual to see them in such large groups. Gisli Vikingsson, head of whale research at the Marine and Freshwater Research Institute in Iceland, told New Scientist. Dancing Forest. Nicknamed the Dancing Forest, this area in Kaliningrad is filled with pine trees that are contorted into spirals, rings, and other configurations. They were planted in the 1960s and are the only tree species to ever do this. According to Atlas Obscura, some theories include extreme winds, unstable soil, and interference from caterpillars. Some locals call it the Drunken Forest. Space signals. Fast radio bursts, FRBs, are brief, brilliant emissions of radio light that release enough energy to power 5 million suns. Astronomers believe that one happens almost every second, but only about 30 have ever been identified. FRB 121102, which originated outside of our Milky Way, is the only signal that has shown up more than once in the same location. It has been tied to a young neutron star, one of the densest objects in the universe. Scientists have also recently shown that FRB 121102 is one of 2 types of fast radio bursts. Crater in Siberia. This giant crater, nicknamed Patom after a nearby river, is a 520-foot wide, 139-foot tall mound of broken limestone. Some locals, however, call it Fire Eagle's Nest, and believe that the area is associated with death, given the lack of growth and animals' unwillingness to go near it. The crater was first officially reported by the Russian geologist Vadim Kolpakov in 1949, but it was created about 500 years ago. Ideas about its origin include nuclear explosions and spaceships, but Russia Beyond said that the most likely theory is a steam explosion that happened either during magma emplacement into hydrous rocks or due to the faulting and decompression of heated hydrous rocks. Booming sound of the Northern Lights. There's also the strange sounds heard booming from the Northern Lights. A Greenland tour guide claimed to hear Star Wars-style blast fire running through the power lines as the incredible light show lit up the sky in December. Aurora sounds are a divisive topic, with some scientists claiming that the hissing sound and clap noises can be explained by electrical currents hitting objects on the surface of Earth, like pine trees. Others believe they are figments of our imagination. Taos hum. The Taos hum is a low-frequency noise that sounds like a distant diesel engine idling, and it is heard by 2% of Taos residents in a radius of up to 48 kilometers, and it causes a serious frustration to the most that can hear it. A similar effect was heard in a Canadian town and was proven to be mechanical in nature, but no one has managed to locate the source of the hum in the town of Taos, and it seems to be a different frequency. Some people suggest that it's a mental disorder. However, since behavioral therapy can lead to people no longer hearing the sound at all. However, such a mass hysteria is very unlikely. Star jellyfish. Star jelly is a gooey substance found in grass and trees, and it has been around for centuries. Folklore explains it is a residue caused by meteor showers, but no science supports this theory in any way. Most, if not all, scientific theories on that subject suggest to it being biological in source. It has been proven to be non-toxic, but other theories vary from bird vomit to blue-green algae. Ball lightning. Ball lightning appears from thunderstorms, and they last long enough for you to get your phone out and photograph them. They're between the size of a pea and several meters, and some sources say they explode at the end and cause fatalities and leave a scent of sulfur. Until the 60s, most scientists believed this to be an urban legend, but it has been long since proved that it actually happens, although the explosive nature is yet to be confirmed. Many theories exist. Some made in the 1800s are still possible. Some theories suggest that it's actually a highly charged ball of matter. Others go so far as to say that they're caused by many black holes entering our atmosphere. Life itself. Easily one of, if not the biggest question that humanity faces, is how on earth does Earth have life? Most agree that all life evolved from a single common ancestor from 3,900 million years ago. But what caused that to happen is up to debate. An interesting and surprisingly possible theory is that a chunk of another life-holding planet's waste landed on Earth and we evolved from there. But that just moves the question back one step. The most logical, but also boring theory is that we just had the right molecules and climate for chemicals to react and form the building blocks of life, which then combined together to form a very basic life form.